If you say science is right, you're wrong. Science is a process of learning and discovery, and sometimes we learn that what we thought was right is wrong. To say that science is true or absolute is like saying that marriage is permanent. Science makes mistakes, there's no doubt about it. If it claimed to possess perfect knowledge of the world, it would be no better than religion or other dogmatic doctrines. Albert Einstein said it best, two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the universe. We agree with you, Al, and with that said, here is our list of the top 10 times science got it horribly wrong. Are you ready? It's time to enter the Zen zone. At number 10. Ulcers are from stress. For years, people have believed that stress caused ulcers. While stress does contribute to a number of gastrointestinal issues like Crohn's disease or irritable bowel syndrome, it is not the cause of ulcers. Ulcers are actually caused by bacteria, and the researchers who proved it won a Nobel Prize in 2005. They deserved it. In the 1980s, one of the researchers actually ingested the bacteria to prove his point, because nobody believed him. Talk about dedication. Now that doctors know the two main causes of ulcers are NSAIDs and H. pylori infection, they are able to detect them, treat them, and cure patients of their ulcers. Excessive alcohol use and smoking exacerbate, and may also promote the development of ulcers. Whereas in the past, a patient might have had to undergo surgery for their ulcer, now doctors can customize medications or treat the H. pylori with antibiotics. Thankfully today, surgery is rarely an option. At number 9. Modern humans evolved around the planet. According to the multi-regional theory, our early hominid ancestors left Africa 2 million years ago, and then settled in different places around the world like Europe and Asia. The hominids relaxing in Europe evolved into humans, and the Asian hominids evolved into another, different group of humanity. In reality, it turns out, early hominids evolved into humans in Africa around 200,000 years ago, then migrated to different parts of the world only about 60,000 years ago. So basically, we're all descended from one original group of humans born in Africa. A 2002 genetics study even found that there are larger genetic differences between Africans than there are between Africans and Eurasians. At number 8. Fen-Phen Fiasco. In the early 1990s, Michael Weintraub, a researcher at the University of Rochester, concluded that a combination of two non-addictive drugs that had been around for years, phentermine, a stimulant, and fenfluramine, an appetite suppressant, could be used for the long-term control of obesity. And from this assessment, the Fen-Phen diet craze was born. Physicians began giving the drug combination off-label to patients who wanted to lose as little as 10 to 15 pounds. The diet drug duo known as Fen-Phen was potentially toxic, because the two drugs taken together destroy the body's ability to control the amount of serotonin in blood plasma. In 1997, two separate studies appeared in the New England Journal of Medicine linking Fen-Phen to several serious side effects, including heart disease, cardiac valvular disease, primary pulmonary hypertension, and cardiac fibrosis. As a result of these findings reported to the FDA in 1997, both Fen-Phen and Redux were withdrawn from the market on September 15, 1997. At number 7. Antibiotics are safe. Since the discovery of penicillin in 1928, it seemed there were few bacteria that antibiotics couldn't destroy handily. Unfortunately, doctors did not take seriously the consequences of promiscuous antibiotic use. Physicians have long been generous in prescribing antibiotics for minor ailments, even for viral infections like the common cold. Now there are whole categories of antibiotics that no longer work. Experts warn that antibiotics can cause numerous side effects, including abdominal discomfort, nausea, vomiting, and possibly life-threatening diarrhea, caused by other serious complications. Antibiotics may also interfere with other drugs you may be taking. In fact, in children, antibiotics are the most common cause of emergency department visits for adverse drug events, according to the CDC. At number 6. Center of the universe. Okay, we're going to blame Aristotle for this one. He wasn't the first to say that the Earth occupies the center of the universe, but he was the most dogmatic about it, and believed he had established it to be incontrovertibly true by using logic. He insisted that the Earth must be in the middle of the universe because the Earth always sought to move toward its natural place, the center of the cosmos. Even though Aristotle invented formal logic, he apparently did not notice a certain amount of circularity in his argument. It took a while, but in 1543 Copernicus made a strong case for Aristotle being mistaken. And then in 1610 Galileo's observation that Venus went through a full set of phases sealed the case for a sun-centered solar system. At number 5. Y2K. Many of us were treated to an entire year of talking heads ranting on about doomsday scenarios, including a world where airplanes would drop out of the sky and banks would register your portfolio value as zero. Y2K, in other words, if not fixed, would be the end of the world as we knew it. Some Y2K experts predicted an apocalypse because the Bible told them so. Others were making big money selling books, seminars, and consulting. The more dire the danger, the more money they could charge. That's why the experts quickly wiped the Y2K stuff from their bios and websites when nothing happened. Many people believe Y2K was science crying wolf. Over 20 years later, many think the Y2K disaster scenarios were a hoax. The Y2K bug may have been real, but the predictions of a world-shaking disaster now seems like it was utter nonsense. At number 4. Phrenology, Bumpy head theory. Today considered nothing but a pseudoscience, phrenology arose in the 19th century among the scientific community as the study of human personality and human nature by the measurement of the skull. Phrenologists believed that the shape of our heads was indicative of our individual temperaments, so by making some classifications of shapes and measurements, they were supposed to be able to tell whether someone had criminal tendencies, high intelligence, or aptitude for a given job. There were at least 2 problems with this study: it was biased and based on unreliable experiments, and it was used to justify sexist and racial beliefs. Fortunately, it was completely disproven in the early 20th century, and no respectable scientist today would buy into it. At number 3. Killer bees attack. Sometimes scientific mistakes that were made decades ago take a while to make the force of their foolishness felt. Consider the case of killer bees. In the 1950s, Brazilian geneticists crossbred mild-mannered European honeybees with their more aggressive, territorial cousins from Africa, reasoning that the Africanized bees would be better suited than their European counterparts to warmer South American climates. They were too right. Before the aggression could be bred out of the resulting cross, the bees got away, and some immediately headed north toward America. In 1990, the first Africanized honeybees were discovered in Texas. Since that time they've gradually spread to New Mexico, Arizona, California, and in 1999, to Nevada. At some points along the way, there were terrifying accounts of killer bee attacks on unsuspecting folks who accidentally disturbed a hive of Africanized bees. But due to isolation from other land masses and populated by fewer predators, the environment caused the Africanized bees to relax, lose their aggression, and become milder like the European bees. At number 2. Only 9 planets exist in the universe. Most of us grew up learning that there are 9 planets in our solar system. Back in 2006 that all changed, when Pluto was demoted from being labeled a proper planet to its new classification as a dwarf planet, leaving just 8 true planets in our celestial neighborhood. Now, a group of scientists says Pluto should definitely be added back to the planet list, and that there are over 100 other objects in our solar system that should also be classified as planets. Science now estimates that there are billions and billions of Earth-like planets in the known universe. At number 1. Homosexuality is an illness. Historically, there's been an incredible amount of prejudice against gay people, to the point that active persecutions have been common all around the world. One of the most unfortunate scientific missteps was when the American Psychiatric Association included homosexuality in its list of mental disorders in 1952, or when the World Health Organization classified homosexuality as a mental illness in 1977, caving to this unjustified social bias. Fortunately, after decades of studies that have consistently proven that being homosexual represents no inherent obstacle to a healthy lifestyle, and that, on the contrary, same-sex relationships can actually have positive effects on many people. No respectable scientific body today considers homosexuality a sickness. The World Health Organization changed its stance by 1990, and even the Chinese Society of Psychiatry removed homosexuality from its catalogue of mental disorders in 2001. Now, it would be nice if there were a lesson on this list of errors that might help scientists do better in the future. Mistakes, even little ones, will always be present, and any scientific theory can be dethroned if sufficient evidence is presented against it. Science is an evolving set of evolving knowledge through evolving inquiries. For knowledge to evolve, questioning it is essential. Without questioning, knowledge stagnates, withers away and dies. These are our top 10 picks. What do you think? Did we miss any of your favorites? Any top 10 list you'd like to see? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoy this kind of content, do me a favor and like the video, hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to stay tuned for our latest videos. Don't forget to check out our cool merch store, it really helps us spread the Zen and grow the channel. Thanks for watching. See you soon.